we're finally live-ish. Hi everyone, it's Mila. Hi, little cuties. I was trying to do a live stream on YouTube. I won't ramble on forever about that, but I've been having issues with that. Both my phone and my tablet. They're not working. I don't know why. I wanted to talk about certain things. So I started rereading this book, The Big Book for Littles by Miss Penny Barber. I don't know if you know her on the scene, but she's been for quite a number of years on the Abdl littlespace scene, and she has videos on adult websites and stuff like that. Got my big crayon. So I wanted to also speak about some things that I've been facing lately. There you go. You can see me a little bit better. Maggie. I think Maggie's over there somewhere. So, how do I start this? Because I was rambling on forever, but then kind of forgot what I was starting with. I never know how to start these videos, but I hope everyone is doing well. It's like 6 o'clock or something like that p.m. on a Sunday, the 28th of January. I lose the track of days and time because I'm not working full time, but I just wanted to say something very quick that thank you so much. We reached officially over 5K subscribers after 6 years of this craziness. I started back in 2018, my little channel, and I just wanted to thank you. I did a community post, but I was in hospital, as I usually am. And if I do sound a little bit more crazy, it's because I have quite a number of concussions that, yep, my phone said bye, that I'm still recovering from. I don't know how to put this, it won't stay, so I might have to hold it because I don't have a stand for my phone, but you can see the little cherry blossom tree and my lights. Yeah, the wallpaper had to come, it came down with the painter's tape. It didn't hold up. I can't put stuff in the walls, even that's holding up the lights. I can remove it safely, but anyway, all this to say, thank you so much, guys, for 5K. I truly appreciate it. It reminds me of last year when, on my birthday, before I went to the epilepsy assessment unit center that I had to go, my friend took me to gay bars, and I don't usually drink, and we had a lovely time. And on the way, it was my birthday, I had the birthday brunch, and someone came up to me and she was like, "Hi, little cutie," and she was like, "Oh my gosh, I love your videos and channel." And I never expected, because I've been doing this on and off for 6 years now, and it's insane that obviously I have people that comment on my videos, but I rarely, if ever, get maybe one or two people at most I've had come up to me, and I truly appreciate those moments because it truly connects you that there's actually someone on the other side watching your videos, your crazy videos, but still. And I'm very thankful because the people that meet me and talk to me, they just, even if it's online or in person, it truly melts my heart, and it truly, metaphorically of course, but it makes me feel so good. And this person hugged me and I was like, oh my gosh. And it was so, I was trying to hold back tears because it's just insane that people tell me that in their time of needs they discovered my silly channel, and they love it how, you know, honest and raw, and how I keep it, and that's the way I started. And life has been crazy in the past years for me, moving abroad constantly and moving back, and then either for my last years of uni, then for health issues, then for trying to find a job. It's just been a hectic kind of last few years. Now I'm had to give up my job, my part-time slash full-time job that I had, in hospital for a bit over 5 years because a couple of things. The morals didn't hold up to me. My seizures weren't very well controlled, and I didn't want to put at risk the safety of my patients. So, and also it was the exact same hospital that was kind of, as a patient, I didn't and don't feel safe. And I'm working through that in CBT. I had my first session I was going to say last year. Officially, well, I guess last year I had the assessment, but I thought it was going to be with the lady that I had the assessment last year, but it was like a man, a clinical psychologist. And last week I actually fell asleep and I was going to wake up because I took some metoclopramide for the nausea and it makes me sleepy. I don't know the American version of what it is. Anyway, my brain goes a million miles an hour and then I switch from topic to topic. You know me, new year, still me. With some issues and things that I'm working through, okay? We all have our own demons and stuff that we work with through them. And anyway, so I self-refer myself to CBT, and it's through the public healthcare system, and so I wasn't expecting much. And I say that because I've had issues with my physical health that were put down as mental health, and I've not been treated the fairest in all the 11 years that I've been an advocate for my health. I think I started sharing part of my health things just a couple years ago, not initially in 2018, but when I first started my channel, but like a few years after. And I wasn't, it was just things here and there. And when things got really bad, I started sharing. And yeah, I just want you to, if you're not comfortable with those kind of things, you obviously don't need to watch them, but it's just parts of my life that I'm sharing for maybe future me and or people that are facing a similar thing. And I have been having issues in getting into my little space, and I actually filmed a little short clip last night where I finally got into slightly little space. And with that in mind, I just want to say that I have a CBT session tomorrow. It's officially my second. Even my first last week, I didn't really like it. I thought we were just going to go straight into stuff. But it was still more of the questionnaire again. I guess it's because it's been a year, but I thought it was going to be with the lady, as I was saying, clinical psychologist, and no, it was a man. And it's not to be sexist, but I feel more comfortable with a woman. I don't know. So I'm going to ask him tomorrow, and I think it's also because of my autism with people when they say, oh yeah, I'll see you, I'll follow you up. I don't expect people to change that without saying that to me, that it's going to be a different person. I don't know how to explain it, but my legs are hurting from crossing them over. But yeah, as you see, I've got my sleeping bag. I got it from Little Comforts, and I've got a pacifier bit over there. And this is my first order from Little Comforts, not sponsored. It's very comfortable. They beat me to making a sleeping bag. But yeah, it kind of goes with this pacifier that I had custom made for myself. Listen, only on the very recent years I started buying stuff like for me in this kind of sense. Like I don't have that much, and I thought that I did have my Vinted page, the UK Vinted page, because I live in the UK. On my YouTube about me section, they can get my Twitter, everything there. But I don't, but it's just at the same username, LittleCutieABDL. If you live in the UK, I sold many of my little space items, including onesies, pacifiers, and you're like, Mila, are you insane? I was like, no, it's because I'm hopefully moving and I'm trying to get there slowly but surely. It's been a hard journey, I'll be very honest, and it doesn't help that I'm stuck in a place. Well, a homeless place is nice, but I can't be here forever. And I'm still within the same, town and city, and that I see people from work that I don't want to see, people from my from high school that treated me like shit, and I'm over that. You know, I don't want to see that because it just takes flashbacks to me, and that's something I'm working on as well. How I was treated as a kid as well by my ex-stepdad. If this is a lot to you, maybe click off, but there's a lot of things to unpack here. I want to maybe save it for other, maybe hopefully when I figure it out, live streams. Because this is not technically a live stream, this will be a video that I watch back. About my health. I'll take it little by little, and then because there's a lot of things to talk about. And I was thinking, because today I spent most if not all day in bed, I managed to get, for some however reason, I managed to get into a shower, and because my back was killing me, I put some K tape or KT tape, whatever, kinesiology, I can't say that word, tape on my back. It's a long story, because one of my discs is slipped. It could have been resolved, but it wasn't. Yada yada. I've got a gallbladder stone that's making me nauseous, and I have to force myself to eat, but then they don't want to do anything about it in the public healthcare system, and I can't go private, yada yada yada. And then I've got epilepsy that was put down as mental health for 11 years, even though I advocate for myself and saying I have this since I was a kid and from my original country. It's just been a lot of things to, even I don't even know how to feel all about this. I want to talk about this as well, but yeah, I managed to eat something, and I just want to talk about some things in my life. I have a second session of CBT tomorrow, the official, I guess. The one from last year was just a assessment one, but then the first official one I had last week was just an assessment one again, so I don't understand how this is going anyway. But yeah, I just wanted to say that, and I've been seeing this moving on to the little space kind of things now. I've not been feeling, because of everything that's going on in my life and that's been going on, it's just made me feel frazzled, and I don't know how to feel about things. I don't know if I said this on the video already, because I said it in a live stream, but the live stream wasn't working. Anyway, we've officially reached 5,000 subscribers. I'm very, very thankful to you guys, and I truly mean that. And I did the community post, but I was in hospital, as I usually am lately, because he confused my medications. I don't want to get into it. Otherwise I'm gonna get mad. But I keep forgetting the camera's here, not this little thingy here. Here, hi guys. So, yeah, we officially reached 5K. You now can do super thanks on my page. I am trying to find talented artists to actually do a banner for my YouTube page, and actually, you know, emoticons that can be used for, you know, the super thanks or Twitch or something like that. Because that's something that I've always wanted to do, but I'm just not very artsy talented in that kind of sense. I've got art fear, but I'm getting there slowly and surely, and now we're officially monetized, not completely, and I'm not making money out of my content yet, because you have a threshold and everything. And even the few creators within the community that make videos, some may come and go completely, and some stay for a while and then go. It's because YouTube is not very reliable, because I'm trying to break the barriers down with the ABDL, but I feel that I've not been here full time, so I've not had the opportunity and the chance to make this a full-time thing. And because I don't get any sustenance in terms of income from it, it's very hard to, you know, keep it going, and everything in my life that's been happening. I don't want to use it as an excuse, but it is very hard to, you know, having had the homelessness happen to me, having the health issues and being in a coma and being abused, and a lot of things just been going on at once. And I'm only human, and there's so much you can take, you know, and I've got my limits like everybody else. And I've been in the community for many years. I've discovered it when I was in my teens, probably as most would. I've had these, I would say, it's not fantasies, but stuff since I was 5, 6 years old. And I'm just gonna say, I think I'm not gonna force myself to say something concrete in case I don't accomplish it, because I would feel bad for myself and for you guys, because I'm very much of a perfectionist. And anyway, so I will say I'll probably I will try, because I want to motivate me to get me out of this apathy that I've been having, and kind of not depression, but this kind of low thing that I've been having, and I just feel like surrounded everything, no matter what I do, is just nothing, and doors close even though I'm trying my hardest. So I stopped trying because there's no point. I know it's a very sad thing to say, but it's the reality I've been faced with. And when you have that again, 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 and again, you can keep going, but you exhaust yourself. And I don't know how to explain it, but I hope you never reach that point. And if you are, I'm here, and I will keep uploading here and there, and hopefully things will get better, and I'll start uploading more regularly to a point that I do actually have a source of income from here. But that's thinking too much ahead in the future. But I really want to make this a thing, and I really want, because I love the connections I make with the people that I do in real life and online. But when people see me, and actually I'm surprised, because you know, I don't mean it like, oh, I'm famous and that, and like fame get over my head, go off the pedestal, Mila. But I mean in the sense that I love, even though we're quite in a small side in YouTube, I don't want it to be completely blown out of proportion, that people start seeing me even though they're not in the community, because I want to keep just the people in the community discovering my channel, and not anyone else that is not within it. I know at some point, and there's been once that I think it was like an AI or whatever, maybe it was someone that I saw something on their community page I shared on mine that was like, I don't want to give them credit, but they shared one of my most popular videos, how to wet your diapers for beginners. I remember doing the script for that video and everything to keep my head focused, because I'm not a very I go from topic to topic to topic, and I get very excited to talking to you guys. I really do. And I just have so much to say, and so I feel such little time to say it, and then I ended up not saying the full thing, and it's insane. And then I look back, I was like, what in the world are you saying? So I've had encounters, and I do get some hate, but as everyone would, you just kind of get over it. People will stop. You can just report it, delete it, and I truly like the people that are there to learn as well. It's been a difficult time, but moving on. Yeah, I discovered the official name for it I discovered as ABDL when I was a teenager, and I discovered diaper pails, or diaper forums, and ABDL forums, and some of them don't exist anymore. I'm trying to think here, but I never engaged until I was officially, well, I was 19 when I started engaging and stuff like that. And I remember the days, it wasn't that long time ago, but for some it'll seem like a long time ago, that when Tumblr was taking down the pornography. I'm glad that I never had that issue happen to me, because my little space is non-sexual. And I will talk about a little bit about the ABDL, MDLG, DDLG, DDLB, MDLB dynamic, or CGL, caregiver little dynamic, because most people get it wrong. And when I say most, I mean everybody outside of it. And it's good that I started rereading this book, because I kind of forgot it and how much I like it, because Penny Barber, she's been a professional dominatrix for many, 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 many years, and I recommend you. She has some videos on adult websites, but you've probably seen her. If not, this is what she looks like. She's a very, very nice person, and I just wanted to start saying about how I found the community, and talking a little bit about my life lately, which I already did now, even though it's been crazy. That's what it feels like. And in the little space now aspect of things, because with all things happening to me lately, I've not been feeling good to get into little space. I rarely do nowadays, or at least now. And I finally yesterday I got myself that big Fisher Price, the ring. There's like 6 rings, and you put it the rock stack or whatever it is, and there's like a big version of it. So I got it. I finally bit the bullet and got one for myself. And I put it on my wish list for the longest time, but I finally got one, and I really enjoyed it. I just sat down in my sleeping bag and my pacifier, and I just enjoyed just playing, just taking a breather, and I felt slightly in a little space, and that's a feeling that I haven't felt in a very long time. When I do get into little space and regress to such a very young age and to such depthness, I can be in a little space, but I don't know about you, because everyone's little space is different, but I go into my state of mind when I'm completely regressed is so peaceful, and so it's truly amazing. I don't know how to describe it. And when people, and I've seen this sadly, and that's when I will start touching about this on the book by Penny Barber, because she's has many more years of experience than I do on this thing about low space, ABDL, age play, age regression scene. What I wanted to say about Tumblr and stuff like that is when I was first starting, and they were saying minors are not allowed in this community, and it's truly that they're not allowed, because now what I want to say about this is that I've been seeing, unfortunately, when I've recently, well, for a few months now, I started getting into, I thought I wouldn't like it, but there are certain, I like ASMR, and I started listening to, I didn't know what F4F was, but then I was like, oh, female to female ASMR, age regression slash little space videos. It's very, very comforting, some of them, and I think I've got a playlist on them, of my favorite ones on my YouTube that I share with you guys. But what I was saying is that I've seen in some of them and other things, other related videos I've seen, and people that, one, are not very, and this is a very touchy subject to touch on and speak about, and many people in the ABDL scene will be uncomfortable to talk about, including myself, but I feel that this needs to be said, and I know it's very controversial, but I need to say this. One, we're not pedophiles, and we want to be the child, not with children. And I hate when I see those kind of comments that, oh, DDLG, MDLG is just, it's sexualizing, even though they're adults, they're sexualizing this. I'm like, no, it's not. It's a caregiver role, a daddy or a mommy, typically our boyfriend or a girlfriend. In my case, it'll be a girlfriend. My ex-girlfriend was into this, so I was both her little and mommy. We had a switch dynamic, and she's very kind. It just didn't work out, things, but it's more, we had our sexual lives, but it wasn't in when we were in Little Space. Little Space was a reserved, compartmentalized thing besides our normal relationship. So, for example, if you have your sexual life and you have your other things, but they're not inherently sexual. That's why for some people, including myself, it is not really a kink. I don't get off of this. I never will, never would. This is a coping strategy for me. And what I want to say with this is that many people, and I've seen this become popular now, and it's not that I disagree with it. It's just when I was younger, and I say, oh, I didn't have it when I was younger, therefore you should suffer too. No, what I'm saying is this, and I've seen both sides of it, both the Sigmund Freud, and Carl Jung's, that age regression can be beneficial. What I want to say is this: one, stop spreading misinformation about caregiver roles and CGL, DDLG. That's the most common one that you see, MDLG, because you're just undermining our sub communities, and that is truly bad. Because now, it's just I see potentially, well, people over the age, but also minors, and this is where it touches the line, and it shouldn't. And I feel that minors are getting way too involved in the online community where they shouldn't be in the first place. And I get it, have your own little community, but don't, at the same time, I find it very hard because we can't obviously interact with them. And one time I remember putting something on Instagram and I put age regression as a tag because now littlespace and ABDL and age play, if you like, all involve age regression to some extent, okay? This is why littlespace is different for everyone, okay? But most of us, I guarantee, I don't speak for everyone, but 90% of us just want, I'll argue almost 100% of us just do this for the sake of feeling loved that we didn't as kids, finding peace, and this is the way we relax and de-stress, and it's not a sexual thing. Our partners just look after us. And I think what the kink aspect of things is implied is that because this is adults, consenting adults, that is, mind you, and people find that weird, an adult looking after someone that acts like a baby, or a middle, or whatever it is, not their true age, if that makes sense. I'm probably complicating things a little bit here, but what I'm trying to say is that I've got reached out from, and this is where the gray line goes way overboard. I've seen people over the age look after underage people, and then they came after me in one of my posts saying you can't use the age regression hashtag because there's minors in this. And at a time I truly didn't know, like I've done age regression and ABDL stuff when I was a teenager, but I kept it private. And I think that is where it should be, private. If you're a minor, discover what you like, but keep it private in this kind of sense, because you're kind of overstepping the boundaries there when you're trying to get involved within the community and then try to make your own little community where ABDL in essence has some form of regression incorporated, even if it's adults dressed as kids. I have a hard time wording things. I'm sorry, I've got autism, but as babies, or because for me, I do regress, both in the way I dress and in my mindset. I age regress, and age play, I would say you dress more like some, whatever age you identify as. But we know we're still adults, but when I do regress, I go into that state of mind of a particular younger me, if that makes sense, to cope with the trauma that I faced, physically, verbally, emotionally. And that's the way I de-stress. And where I find it oversteps the boundaries is when minors have actually people, and then those people say, oh, I actually rescued them or look after. I find it a bit very creepy. And also the fact that minors are getting their hands on stuff that's meant for adults, ABDLs, like pacifiers, adult pacifiers, that are aimed at ABDLs and people over the age of 18, clearly. and even getting hands on products that are 18 plus, including onesies. And that is where I find it. And then they get back and say, oh, DDLG, is disgusting. It's like, it's kind of hypocritical in the sense, and when you get over the age, most will find that they go into the ABDL community because the age regression doesn't count anymore because they're not under the age. But listen, anybody of any age can do age regression, and in ABDL community, many of us age regress, to some extent or another. I don't speak for everybody, but most of us just want a loving care partner that understands us. And when we do find that, and we have that, it's very soothing and very relaxing, but it's not inherently sexual. That's what I'm trying to make my point across. Okay, and we do not want to be with children. We want to be the child. We actually envy children and stuff that they have that we wish that we had in our size. For example, sleeping bags like this that only came out recently, and pacifiers only came out in recent years. Well, a couple of years. I feel old now saying this, but it's not been that long. Onesies our size, everything upgraded to like a more adult size, because a baby pacifier, it won't do for us. That is where I find it oversteps the boundaries when people over the age are looking after online people that they don't know under the age. That's predatory behavior. I don't agree with that. And then they come after me and minors try to get hold of me, and that's where I find this is where it shouldn't be the case, because I think minors, they can do age regression and stuff, but please do not publish it online. Keep it to yourselves, and please, like I did and many of us did in the ABDL community, just wait until the age of 18 to at least publish online about yourself, because you don't know. Okay, even I feel scared sometimes, but you have to have good judgment, and that's something that you just grow and get to know yourself. And I'm not saying, oh, when you automatically reach 18 you know all about yourself. No, what I'm trying to say is that try to find it if you really like it, first of all, before you put something on the internet, because I guarantee you it stays on the internet forever, and you don't want it to be a point of humiliation down the line for yourself, and for you to later find out, oh, I shouldn't have done this, why did I do this? So that's why it is very important, for many, many reasons, to stay offline in that aspect of things, even if it's age regression, because there is no such category in like 5 years ago per se. And I think more and more minors start grasping that as a point of, oh, it's just age regression, I can just put that tag, claim that tag is mine, and everyone else can, not into this, goodbye, and take the tag away from them. I don't think that's very, very kind to do, and I don't think that it's very, it puts us in a position that is very hard to say anything about it. And I feel that I'm going to get personally attacked about this because I'm speaking out, but I feel the need to, because we already hated as it is by the vanilla world and everybody else that doesn't know this or sees shows online and TV that doesn't portray us like we are in reality. And most of us are already scared as it is. And then to be called such things and be like just being treated like garbage is not on, and I don't like that at all. And I made my channel when I was over the age to start connecting with people, because I felt alone and I wanted to connect, and I truly felt that this is what I want to do after many years of trying things. But I never bought anything over the age until I was probably 18 or 19 when I first shopped something, I think a pacifier and a onesie. But I say this as, don't get stuff that is meant for adults as age regression, because I see this trend of getting, oh, some things will just be like age regression oriented. No, those things were made for ABDLs, okay? And ABDL itself, it has what I was going to say, sorry, mind fog here, mind blank. ABDL itself, we have age regression incorporated and littlespace, and age regression incorporated into our play, but it's not really a play for Sam. It's just a way of coping, okay? And being littlespace uses age regression for me, okay? So to anyone that you talk to, it can mean many things, and I'm not saying you shouldn't do it. I mean, at least age regression, but what I mean is do it behind closed doors and don't put yourself online, because you carry a very, very high risk of, I don't want to be like a negative Nancy here, but you carry a very high risk of down the line when you are an adult. And believe me, some of my videos have ended up in adult websites, what I didn't want to, and that's something I'm working on. Because my littlespace and my age regression and my ABDL site, whatever you want to call it, I call it ABDL littlespace because this is the first community I started with, and ABDLism has age regression incorporated into it, and I'll read it about it from the actual book by the dominatrix for many, many years, more than, she's probably, she's very much older than me, but she slays. Just like, God, that's such a Gen Z thing to say, but no. She's been into the littlespace, and she understands much more than I can describe it into here into words, but I'm gonna describe it as best I can from the book from her, because she wrote many books about this, and I've read a lot of articles because I graduated in biomedical science, so with honor, so you can, I'm technically a biomedical scientist, but I'm not practicing. And so I know my resources and where to find stuff about psychology, psychiatry, and articles, and know which ones are correct and where to find stuff, etc. Anyway, so my rant is this. Please know that we're not going to engage with you, and that's very, very hard, because truly our community is keeping minors out of this, and that's the way we want to keep it as, and we don't want to be discriminated upon, because that hurts, and we can't even defend ourselves because we're technically adults now. And imagine that you turn from a minor to an adult, and now everyone in the minor community say, you're an adult now, goodbye. That's not nice, you know? First of all, and that's where I find very hypocritical, minors getting access to ABDL adult stuff and claiming as age regression the same way they claim the tag age regression as theirs. That is not correct at all, okay? And that is not correct to just get hands on stuff that's meant for adults. You're overstepping the boundaries there, okay? And I will be honest, like, I may have autism, I may have stuff like that, and my coping mechanisms, but I know better, and I know to wait, and you should know that you're putting yourself at risk if you put yourself out online and later find out someone that said they're not. And I promise you, people say that to you, but it's reality of stuff. This does happen, you know. And I don't want you to get access to those items until you're of the age. And do not publish yourself online, because you're compromising us and putting your own safety at risk as well. And then obviously we get attacked and we can't defend ourselves, and I want to be the one to put my foot down and say, please stop that. And for people that say, oh, it's just age regression for me, don't be afraid, you know. If it's ABDL that you started with, and ABDL in itself, it just stands for adult baby diaper lover. Many people, diaper lover doesn't mean necessarily fetish. And I think the way that kink works is that, and the way that ABDL is sometimes interpreted as a kink. As I said, is because you have a daddy or mommy, usually your partner, not truly your dad or your mom. I think that would be very, very weird. I'm not one to judge, but mostly would just be your partner, okay? And I find that people get it wrong, the message wrong, because, for example, like we have our sex lives which are separate from littlespace, okay? I can have my relationship, well, for example, say my ex-girlfriend, I can treat her as, when she's regress, I can be there for her, cook for her, feed her, change her, but there's nothing sexual about that, okay? And she's in that state of mind, and I respect that, because when she stays in that state of mind, taking advantage over that's just predatory, okay? And that's not correct. That's not the way it is. The way it is simply having a caregiver there to look after you in the moments that you need, okay? And when you regress to an age, which is part of the, ABDL scene most of the times, if, for example, men have like a professional mommy when they can't find someone or their partner to look after them, they get professional mommy to look after them. Or same goes for women. I'm gay, lesbian, whatever you want to say, and I'm attracted to other females. And I have got a message from like guys, both creepy and no, I get it. Flirting is not that easy of a thing to do, but I'm not into guys and I'm not into people that want to be my daddy. I just want women, both for a relationship, but also for that are okay with the ABDL little space age regression scene, because I don't want to force someone into this if they're not into this, and I want someone that's there to support me and me to support them. I don't want to force someone that's not into this to, because I wouldn't force myself into something that I know I don't like, So when I meet someone, potentially, say for dates, although I rarely go on dates, but say for example that I make it very clear, have you heard of this? I don't just say, hey, I'm Abdl, by the way. No, I go slowly and incorporate into the conversation. When it stumbles upon the right time, you kind of get a grasp of that. And you just slowly talk about it. And if they're cool with it, or if they don't know about it, you just explain as much as I need probably water as you can. And people will, excuse me, I had to drink some more. People will be cool to understand, and some people in my channel commented and say, why do you do this, honestly? And I took my time to explain as best as I could, and I pinned that comment, I think. So some people will be there to really try to understand, and that's when information is key and misinformation is really bad, and it gets tiring, it gets very tiring. And sometimes you just don't want to explain anything for people that are clearly there just to argue, and I don't have time for that, or energy. And the right people that want to learn about it will come to learn about it. If they search for the right terms, they'll find and stumble upon it. And that's the way I want to keep it as. And I really do not like the way that things are going in many, many senses of the world right now, but particularly in the scene. I made a video before about this, but I don't think I truly explained to the degree that I wanted to. And this is just a message, please, minors, keep out of this. Don't publish yourself online. And if you want to do age regression, be my guest, but do it in the comfort of your own home, safe space, outside of public eye, okay? And when you turn over the age, then decide if you want to publish yourself online, okay? Simple as, because you don't know if you'll later down the line feel, oh my gosh, this online, and there it is, and then my boss is going to find out, and my friends and my family, and I shouldn't have made this, but now it's here forever. Even though I delete here, it's over there, and I can't request to delete it. Like, be very mindful that it's there forever, and like it or not, it will be there forever, even if you don't know. So be very mindful of that and try to discover yourself. And two, do not get access to adult items, okay? Sorry. Anyway, so if you need items to comfort yourself, you can get access to baby items. I know it's not the same because you're no longer a baby, but you don't fit into such things. But before adult diapers were available, there is, there's pull-ups, in the supermarket that they sell. And I know it's not the same quality as ABDL brands. However, adult printed diapers and stuff like that that are aimed at 18 plus is only that 18 plus, or whatever over the age official adult ages in your country. Please bear that in mind. If it's 18 plus, 21 plus, please keep that in mind. Do not get items that you will get in trouble for. And please do not discriminate against our community, because we just want to be understood. And when you spread that misinformation, and when you turn an adult yourself, you're gonna regret doing that. And it's very, like, it's already hard living on this side and trying to, break down stereotypes and things, or how do you say those things? For epilepsy, for example, people thought, I'm saying as an example because I've got epilepsy, people thought it was demons attack your body or you're possessed. So things like, oh, you must be attracted to children, or it must be sexual with your partner. No and no. Epilepsy is because of, well, it can be a brain tumor in your brain, it can be sclerosis in your temporal lobe, tuberous sclerosis complex. I'm going way too fancy here in my medical science terms. It can not have a cause, it's just a surge of abnormal electricity in the brain. And the same goes to, I'm not very good at similes and metaphors, but the same goes for ABDL. If we have our partner, we're very lucky, but our little space and ABDL scene it's not the same as our sexual lives with our partner, okay? It differs, okay? There's nothing sexual about being an ABDL and when we regress to such state. I think the only kink aspect of things that comes into there that people think is the power exchange dynamic that you give to someone else to say, hey, I'm feeling very stressed, can you look after me? And we then regress, but we're not just dressed up as an adults and just enjoying play of things. We're actually regressing. At least I speak for myself and people that I met. We regress to a certain age, whichever age it is that we're comfortable as. For example, me, I regressed very young to the age of 6 months to 1.5 years old, maybe 2 max. And it makes me stress free, okay? And it's harder to do when you're by yourself. I've age regressed by accident in public before, and it's very hard to control. And it has happened to me. Sorry, it's very hard to admit this, but here goes. I'm speaking heart to heart here, okay? But it's very hard to control it. And because it's like a coping mechanism and a safe mechanism, and when you have someone in your life that accepts you as you are and looks after you when you need it to, or if you switch, well, that's what the name implies, you switch, if one needs more care, that you can be both a dom or like a little, it depends, but there's nothing inherently sexual about that, okay? And there's nothing sexual happening during that, which I find very weird that people find that, oh, it must be kinking, therefore it must involve sex. No, it's not. It's not. I think like ABDL is a bit separate from other things and by itself. For me, it's more of a lifestyle. For me, it's more a thing that I regress to. I like having someone to hold me and care for me, and I regress to such a state of mind that I am actually acting that age. And it's like seeing the world in a new color, a new perspective, and finding things for the first time is very hard to describe. At least that's how it feels like to me. I have accidents, and it's not that I want to, it just happens. And I actually regressed when I was in hospital, and I woke up and I was like, oh dear, what happened? And yeah, it's not very nice. So therefore I say I've regressed in public. I was in a bus and I was slipping into little space and to my little age. So I was like, okay, keep it together, you know. It's like a voice at the back of your head screaming, let me out, you know. I just wanted to say that I hope that made any sense whatsoever. And I'm going to finish this because it's almost, goodness sake, almost 1 hour I've been talking about this. So I don't want to get copy strikes because I'm reading a book here. I don't want to read it out loud. Because I actually highlighted with my jumbo size crayon. But yeah, I just want Penny Barber. I'm doing this for us, for our communities, but I'm just going to read maybe a couple of sentences so I don't get copy strike that I'm reading a book. And it's the big book for littles. You can get it on Amazon. I got it many years ago. Sorry, I'm getting the burps and I'm trying not to vomit here because my gallbladder. Sorry, too many health stuff going on. It says, which activities qualify as age play vary from person to person. It says defining age play, okay? And unlike a lot of other hobbies, age play doesn't just mean engaging in certain actions, but being in a certain mindset or headspace, often called littlespace. Sorry. And it says, she talks about subcultures here, about other things, and how people in certain communities don't agree with others, like people that have just age regression and blah blah blah. Anyway, sorry. Trying to read it through here. 1 second. Is this still recording? Sorry, I was just reading for the book because I don't want to read a whole book. Because I'm still reading it, and I'm finding things that I didn't find before. So I really like Penny Barber because she goes into very good details, and something that people don't understand, and they kind of separate it, and they don't get the nuances of stuff. Being age play is just one thing, ABDL is just one thing, age regression is just one thing, littlespace is just one thing. No, it's not. And as I probably mentioned in other videos and vlogs here and there, is that being an ABDL can encompass many things, okay? And it's different for everybody that you talk to, okay? I say I'm an ABDL because I like to wear diapers, and I like to wear stuff like baby replicas that are adult size, you know. I'm only 4'9", like I'm very like short, you know, but I'm an adult and I like to be treated as though I'm 6 months to 1.5, you know, when I'm feeling very overwhelmed and very stressed, and because of my past trauma and experiences, and also to just de-stress and relax with my actual partner that understands me, and she's into the same thing as I am. And you know, that is very hard to understand for some people, and she knows my boundaries and I know hers, and we both talk about this is between two consenting adults, and there's nothing sexual that goes on there during it, okay? I'm treated as I would be someone that actual age, you know, and I find it very comforting, okay? It might seem weird to many people that don't know about this, and therefore that's where misinformation and stuff, you know, gets, I don't know why, gets, you know, spoken, and is kind of those rumors or beliefs like epilepsy is because of demons and people are possessed. No, it's not. The same way ABDL doesn't mean that someone engages in, excuse me, sexual stuff. I even have a hard time saying that word because it just makes me cringe. What I mean by everyone's little space is different is that everybody can be identify of a certain age. Some of them are middles, some of them are, I don't know, like older age of a kid would be. It depends who you talk to, okay? Not everybody likes diapers, not everybody likes this. It doesn't mean that I like to engage in this 24/7. I just like to do it when on my own accord, when I feel safe, when I feel overwhelmed, and I feel in a safe space to do it. If I have a partner and she understands me and she's into this, we're on the same page, and she's happy to look after me, then, you know, there you go. That's how it works. And if she is my partner, then obviously we have our, you know, sexual life like everybody else does, but not when you're in that space mindset. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? They're like my caregiver when I'm in the mindset, but obviously when I'm not, then it's our normal lives, okay? It's very difficult for me to explain it more than that, if that makes any sense. I do find that she wrote here, this book was written now a few years ago, almost 10 years ago. I feel old. But she says something about the most that you will get of a textbook about ABDL, stuff like that, will be in Wikipedia. And I've tried to change the Wikipedia, like many can, of this article called paraphilic infantilism. And I've tried changing many times, and someone just goes back and says, no, it's a fetish, it's a fetish, it's a fetish. I'm like, okay, dude, calm down. Like, because people will presume DL, the diaper lover of ABDL, will assume, oh, you like diapers, so you must like having sex on that with them. That's weird. Oh, you have your partner look after you, but you guys are having sex as well, so that's weird, as pedophilic, and you're attracted to children, therefore. It's like, why do those conclusions just come to people's mind when they don't understand it? So one, nothing to do with children. The person wants to be the child because they never got that love and affection and actually got abused and traumatized when they were kids, and probably more recently, and that's the way they cope, okay? Edge regression is part of that dynamic, and usually their partner, they give their love and affection, and they give their power, so to speak, to that person they trust, typically their partner that is on the same page and knows about this side of them, and they feel the person that goes into little space and role plays, but goes into the actual headspace. For me, would be I actually go to the headspace and start behaving like a 6 month to 1.5. It depends. 2 years old max for me. You know, baby, toddler, whatever it is. For me, some people would behave as 5-year-olds, some people would behave as middles. I think that's that age group, 5 to maybe 10 years old. Even if their actual biological age is much older, like 20s, 30s, 40s, you know, whatever it is. Some people can never find their partner, and it's sad, but it does happen. So they actually look for professional mommies, and some people are dominatrix. I know about this. Most dominatrixes would, and some of them do mommy roles. So that's where people that can't find a partner go to when they're desperate time of need, when they feel lonely, they need someone to look after them, when they feel they had enough and they feel safe enough to give that power to someone else to look after them. Typically, for me, it would have been in my past relationship. I would feel safe enough to give that power to my girlfriend, and then she would look after me, and she would understand, you know, what I needed, and she would change me, and she would gave me a bottle. She would snuggle me and rock me to sleep, and that's I find it cute, you know, and I find it very, like, something inside of me just feels warm and it just feels so nice. I need to sneeze. Excuse me. Goodness. The power of Christ compels me. But I've been told being gay is horrible, and that's why, hi Maggie, stretching my bed, is why I'm suffering. And I've been told that by hostel staff. I suffered a lot, okay, more than I will talk about it here, because Jesus Christ, this is way past 1 hour long. But she would look after me, and that's simple as that. You know, we would have our, you know, sexual aspect of the relationship, but it would be outside of that. You know, we wouldn't be, you know, dressed up with pacifiers and onesies and stuff like that. That's just not, no. It's completely different, okay? You have to separate the two, okay? I think that's why most people would make assumptions about that. Oh, you're in a relationship, but you're dressed as a baby, and you're having sex with your partner, so that's why are you doing that? It looks like you're sexualizing children, and you're both adults, why are you doing that? And then people jump to conclusions and assumptions. That's what it is, okay? So I'm trying to say that no, it's between two consenting adults. We want to be the kid or the child or the baby, and we just simply want to be looked after. And our sexual lives completely different from that aspect of our lives that just want to be loved and cared. And that's the way we do our self-care. In that way, if it's weird for you, well, same way you would get it in an Epsom salt bath. For us, is bubble baths in our partner. Or if we don't, it's just us with, you know, rubber ducky and bubbles and crayons I can cray in the bathtub, and be in that headspace and mindset of a child and of a baby, and just experience things for the first time, because that's what we feel comfort, and that's what de-stresses us. And, you know, suckling on a pacifier, wearing diapers and onesies, and just running around the house. And I know it sounds silly and weird, but we find it comforting, and we experience either before the trauma that occurred, or we're just developmentally that age, and it doesn't mean that we're less or more, and that we can't, you know, and we don't pay taxes, because we do. We have our jobs, we have everything an adult size, but that side of us, but sometimes we just like to regress and to do that in order to de-stress and cope with life, and that's the way we cope. And I know it sounds weird, but there's weirder things out there, and everyone to each their own, you know. I kind of lost myself here doing this, but I need to read more about this, but I hope that made sense. And I just want to make it very clear, and if you have any questions about this, please leave it on the comments down below, and keep it, you know, excuse me, you keep it respectful, and as always, take care of yourselves and of your side. I'll see you little cuties next time, and I'll keep you updated on how cognitive behavioral therapy goes and how things go, because I'm discovering a lot about, not yet, but I'm reading stuff as well, but because I'm not very far into CBT. I self-refer myself to CBT, but I don't ramble on forever, sorry. But if you're still with me, I just wanted to get that out of my chest, because I feel that our community is being attacked where it shouldn't be, and a lot of misinformation is being spread, and then minors are coming into the scene where they shouldn't be, and it's like a lot of things being double crossed, and I want to be the one to say it, please don't do that, please stop, and for your own safety and for our, you know, and please don't leave comments and not disgrace, what's the word that I'm looking for, don't shine a bad light on to us, because before you know it, you're an adult, and You will no longer be accepted into the age regression community. That's bonkers, and that's BS because ABDL naturally incorporates some sort of age regression into it. Okay, so I just want to make that very clear, and do not purchase stuff over the age of 18 if you're under the age of 18 or below the age accepted in your own state or country, whatever it is that's considered adult. Please do not do that, and don't publish yourself online. Okay, and don't engage with people that claim to be your caregiver and stuff like that, and you never met them. Don't do that, please. And if you want to do age regression and you find it therapeutic, do it, but please do it outside of online, the internet, because you may find online that wasn't for you, or you maybe feel embarrassed or humiliated, and that's there forever. And some people will be predators, and there's always one that say, oh yeah, I'm in the community, and then it just furthers on the hate and the misinformation about our community, and it's truly upsetting for us. And it will be to you too when you reach the age, and then you're no longer accepted into the age regression community. And it's a lot of stuff going on around, and I don't like it, and I just want to be the one to put my foot down and say it. Also, I have a crush on this person. Not in that sense. I just want to to sorry, I just feel the butterflies. I don't think she's into this, but I baked her some. She might watch this because I disclosed my stuff, because I've known her for many years now. I made her some homemade. I remember staying up to 4, 5 in the morning to perfect a recipe and make some strawberry cookies, cones, and I left a present for her that I want to give her Christmas. And I don't know, love is blind, and you fall sometimes for the wrong people, and sometimes it's just things that you have to search within yourself, and I'm trying to move away from that. Unrequited love, very Shakespeare, I don't know, but I don't know. I just like her to be. Sorry, I'm gonna say this, but my mom. I have these dreams and things, oh, we're gonna be in a park and we're gonna. It's very innocent and very sweet. It's oh, we're gonna be in a park playing or going for a coffee, and then I read these stupid Wattpad stories about MDLG, Mommy Dumb Little Girl, because I'm lesbian and I'm attracted to women, and even in the little dynamic it'll be in that sense. But even if it's just a mommy, I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm a bit flustered to just say that, but I just really like her. She's a really cool person. I looked up to and look up to. I think my autism didn't help, because I would just send her, stuff constantly, and she kind of got a little bit mad. I know she may well not be into this. I hope she doesn't watch this, but she's aware of my channel now. But if she does, I really like you, not in that sense, but in this kind of sense. I'm sorry. I'm very embarrassed, but I just find you really awesome and someone that I look up to, even career-wise, and you're like a mother figure to me, and I just really like you. And I'm sorry, though, it's probably coming off as weird, and yeah. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna go before I don't know how to speak and how to socialize. I'm very, very. If you ever meet me in person, please come up and say hi, and don't be afraid, because I'm usually very in public. I'm very, I'm very like, why are you doing this online, Mila? And are you not scared? I'm like, online is different because I can be talking to a camera and to you guys, hello, but in public is different because I've got autism. So sorry if I say I have autism, this and that, but it's true that everything feels very overwhelming to me, you know, and very. I describe it as if you put a bass guitar, an electric guitar, and put an amplifier and plugged it into an amplifier. You strum the strings. That's what it feels like constantly to me. Sometimes, well, all the time I should say, I can't separate the noises around, and it feels truly overwhelming. That's why I wear headphones most, if not all the time, even when I go to sleep, because everything just feels very amplified, and I feel very overwhelmed and usually anxiety. But please, if you feel like people have approached me, a few people have approached me, and I'm not afraid of that, because if you say, hey, I watch your videos, you watch your channel and stuff like that, it will make my day truly. Don't be afraid of that, okay? Just note that I might just be looking at my phone, I'm looking at something or directions in Google Maps, or and I'm just, try not to get nervous around public, because sometimes I just freak out, Sorry, the lighting. Yes. Sorry. 1 second. Nope. Still look terrible, this lighting. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling now, but yeah. Don't be afraid to come and say hi if you ever see me out in public. Just say hi, you're Mila, and stuff like that, and YouTube, stuff like that. And it'll make my day, truly, and I hope I make yours too. And as always, I've already signed out, sorry. But if you want to follow me on Vinted, I'm publishing some of my little stuff, items I still have online. I usually use my cherry blossom LED tree. It's not truly fanned out, but I really like cherry blossoms and rose. Sorry, I'm going on tangents now. Maggie's in front of me like, what is it? Yeah, I usually publish stuff with that cherry blossom tree because of the light, and it's beautiful. And yeah, I would like to go to Japan and South Korea one day. I've been learning how to write and read Korean. It's actually not that hard. It is hard because it's a completely different alphabet. Pronouncing it is more difficult, but 안녕하세요, 안녕하세요. I think that I wanted to start the live stream just saying 안녕하세요. Just means hello, if I'm correct. I've been learning. I know more words, but I wrote them down. I'm still in a very early stages of reading, because I love South Korea and Japan and the cultures and the food. Oh my gosh. That's like my to-go places. I'd really love to go one day. So anyways, much love as always, and I'll see you crazy little kitties. Say from this little crazy one, but love you guys. Bye now.